Welcome to another time, a refreshing time, another time to have a great time together. Welcome and share the link with your friends, share the link. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? How's your weekend going? How is it going? Mine is going. It's going so fine. I'm on a retreat. You know, usually I do have my annual retreat aside from every other retreat of the year. But July is that the whole of July is my retreat month, right? So I'm just counting my blessings, going back to the drawing board, seeing, how far I'm doing on my work with God, in my growth, my goals, my vision, my plans, how committed I am, and my convictions still strong as they should be. Just in all of those groundworks that make us who we are as a person, the people that, you know, when people see us, you know, doing that foundational work, that behind the scene work. So for me, retreat is one of those non-negotiables, right? So that's how my week is going. Retreating. How is your weekend going? Share the link. Share the link. Is another time to have a beautiful, fantastic moment together. And I cannot wait to share all of these questions that I have here with you. So in case your question is here, just stay tuned. And if you're here too, feel free to send your questions to voiceofgracevog@gmail.com. But I'll just be going through the documented questions we have here. So for some weeks, we started last week, we've been doing rapid fire questions because we have a lot of questions to answer to. And picking them one after the other for each episode will take almost eternity to exhaust all of those questions. So for some weeks, we'll be doing rapid fire questions. So we'll be able to answer a lot of questions for each episode, right? So I'll just go straight. Yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. Feel free to send your questions to voiceofgracevog@gmail.com. Feel free to share the link with someone, with your friends, share the link, invite someone, subscribe, comment. Yeah, English, right? Comment, subscribe, and share. Right. So I'll be going to some of the questions we have for today. The first one says, how do I stop comparing my life to everyone else? How do I stop comparing my life to anyone else? This most straightforward answer, the most straightforward answer that I can give to this question right now is knowing who you are. Knowing who you are will save us from a lot of questions on unnecessary, unrelatable, some questions that are not needed for you to even be asking yourself. So what I can, this most straightforward answer to this right now is knowing who you are. Knowing who you are. Know who you are. That is because you will see a lot of people that it's not because they are better than you. It's because they are different. And the truth is that the human is made to, appreciate difference. That's the fact. We are made to appreciate difference. And the mistake we do most of the time is when we see someone or something different than who we are or what we are used to or what we used to know, we think those things are better. Sometimes they're not necessarily true. Difference does not mean better, right? The fact that something is different or someone is different from you does not mean they are better than you. So that is a mistake we make most of the time. And one of those things, like I said earlier, that can really help us in appreciating who we are, regardless of the differences in other people or the differences of other people's realities, is knowing who you are, knowing your own difference, knowing your own unique difference. Just like every market out there, every product out there are a lot of competitors there. Are they going to say, oh, now because there are competitors in my line of business or in what I do, I no longer do business? No, you just need to find your own unique selling point. I think it's called USP or something like that, right? So the same way, for example, if you are a doctor, you're not the only doctor on earth, but there's something that should make you different from another doctor. No, no person on earth is the same. In fact, twins, as unique as they are, being born by the same parents at the same time in the same place by the same person, almost the same thing, but they are not. No matter how people think they are identical, they are not the same. Their fingerprint can never be the same, right? That their eye lenses can never be the same. They're just some things that can never be the same. Even if they look the same, they cannot sound the same, look the same, everything about them can never be the same. So no matter what you see, no matter who you are right now, there's always someone different from you. Everybody around you is different. Like I said, difference does not mean better. So that is the mistake we make most of the time. We see a difference instead of us appreciating other people's difference, from us or from what we are used to. We appreciate them more than we appreciate ourselves. So one of those things I'm teaching my teenagers is no one is better than you, and you are not better than anybody. That is the way it should be. Nobody is better than you, and you are not better than anybody. That means I am me, you are you. I celebrate me, I celebrate you. You celebrate yourself, you celebrate me, right? So nobody is better. I am not better than anybody. Nobody is better than me. I am unique in my space. I am unique in my creation. I am unique in the things I do. Nobody can sound like me. Nobody can look like me. In fact, there are hundreds and thousands of podcasts, but no one can sound like me. Nobody can say the things I will say the way I will say them. Can you see? So the key to this thing is knowing who you are. Knowing who you are. And you cannot know who you are outside of who God has called you to be. Because the true person that knows who you are is the person that created you. It's just the same way if I made this phone right here, if I'm the creator of this phone, nobody can know this phone better than I, because I made it. So the same way, your maker, the person that made you, the product of who you are, knows you better. So when it comes to you knowing yourself, discovering yourself, sometimes we are looking for ourselves in other people's life. We are looking for ourselves in other people's books. Yeah, that is beautiful. But trust me, the best way to know yourself is going back to your maker, the one that created you, the one that formed you. He said in his word that while you were in your mother's womb, I've known you. Imagine someone like that. So that is the best place to go to. And to anyone listening to me right now and you're struggling with identity, or you're feeling, some way, or you're comparing yourself with other people, your life, your experiences to other people, you need to know that you're different, right? And another question here says, why do I feel guilty whenever I start choosing myself? Stop that. You don't need to feel guilty whenever you start choosing yourself. First, I need to ask, there are lots of reasons that might want to make you choose yourself, right? For you to feel this way, rather, probably, if you're a wife or a mother, a boss, you are all of those things, and most of the time you are used to giving. You're used to being there for your children, being there for your spouse, being there for your worker, being the person of the vision, right? Driving everybody, encouraging everybody. And at times when it looks as if, no, I want to be served right now. I don't want to serve anyone. I want to be served. Sometimes it might look selfish, but sometimes it's really needed. Like I said earlier, presently I'm in a retreat, right? And I'm not feeling guilty that I'm spending the me time. It's necessary. In fact, that is what I need to, reversatilize. That's what I need to, that is what I need to become. That is what I need to be better. That is what I need to perform well. That is what I need, to do better than I did yesterday. That's what I need to do better than, what people are already appreciating. That is what I need, right? So do not feel bad about that. Don't feel guilty. So now going to the major topic of today, which is it possible to start over at any age? The straightforward answer is yes. Because the question says, is it possible? Right? It's possible. It's possible to start over at any age. It's possible. It's possible. Regardless of what you're starting over, be it a relationship, be it a business, be it a venture, be it a pursuit. In fact, the present president of the United States and the last president, they were both over 70 before they became president. So imagine people like that, and you're saying, oh, you don't want to start over. In fact, most countries right now, their presidents are old people. These are people that are not even giving up. People at such age are people that will feel, oh, let me retire, let me just, enjoy life till when death comes. They are not living those kind of life. These are people that are still pursuing something. These are the number one citizen of the country, right? So if people of that age can still believe that people should vote for them, they still believe that they are relevant, they still think that they should be the number one citizen of their state, of their country, how much more you? So regardless of what you're starting over, be it a business, be it a relationship, be it whatever, it is possible. It is possible. It is possible. Trust me, it is possible. No matter how many times you have failed. In fact, most of these presidents, they failed, but that will not stop them from coming again, from contesting the following year. You will see them come again the following year to contest, right? They will not allow the past failures to stop them. Most of the brands that we are celebrating today, most of them, it is because they keep on showing up. The people we celebrate all over the world, it's not because they've never failed. It's because they were consistent in showing up. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, how committed are you to your vision? How committed are you to your becoming? Because most of the time we are quick to do, we are quick to doing, and we forget that, we are human beings. You're supposed to become before you can do. So what are you becoming? What are you becoming every day? What are you becoming as a person, in your character, in your pursuits, in your goals, in your, how clear is the vision of your life to you? So the question is it possible to start at any age? Yes, it's possible to start over, regardless of how many times you have failed, regardless of how many times people have told you no, regardless of how many times you've been disappointed. Yes, it is possible. It is super, super possible. Right? Yeah, don't forget to like, share, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to say something about any of these questions, right? Someone says, how do I become more disciplined? See, This is one of the issues I have with um, motivational, you know, quotes and speeches. And as beautiful as they sound, most of the time they are just for the moment. You really need something that will keep you going. Because I tell people, like the way I say it, motivational quotes and speeches and write-ups, will fade. The consistent thing is what your eye is on. Eye on the prize, eye on the goal. Do you have a vision? What are you seeing? One of the things that makes many of us, wake up every day is because we have a reason to. The reason why many people show up every day is because they have a reason to. What is at stake? When you live your life as if nothing is at stake, then you live a life of carelessness. You live a life of nonchalancy, right? So you have to know that a lot is at stake for you. For someone that wants to be disciplined, you need to have a vision. You need to have something that drives you. Because if nothing drives you, then you will not move. No matter how beautiful a car is, if there is no, okay, right now, it's almost like, oh, now we have, cars that can drive themselves. But trust me, something is still driving the car. A machine is driving it, whether a human being, whether a robot, whether whatever, something has to drive the car. So you as a person, you need to know what is driving you. What is that purpose? What is that burning purpose? What is that burning desire? What is that burning goal? What is at stake for you? Why do you think you are waking up every day? Why do you think you should be disciplined? Why do you think you should do that thing if you do not know your whys? I tell people, one of the very important questions every individual needs to answer is, what are my whys? Because the reason why you will do the things you do is knowing your why. The reason why you will stay consistent with the things you're doing is knowing your why. The reason why you will stay on the things you're doing and you will not just continue to jump on trends and see what someone else is doing, even when it's working for them, it's because you know your why. So if you do not know your why, you will not be disciplined. If you do not know your why, you will not be consistent. If you don't know your why, you will not be committed. If you don't know your why, life will be tiring and boring to you. But when you know your why, it is easy for you to stand up every day to be consistent, even when it's difficult, even when you don't feel like. Because the real game of the matter is not doing the things when you are motivated, when the energy is up there. Even when the days are not so good, you show up. It's because you know your why. So for anyone struggling with commitment, discipline, consistency, the first way to overcoming that is knowing your why. Your non-negotiables, your why, it has to be so imprinted in your heart. It has to be in your subconscious. But that is what will drive you. That is what will, even people walking around you, your house help, your driver, your workers at work, because it is, they can see that you're a man of vision. Because a man that do not have vision, that lacks vision, cannot be motivated. You cannot be self-motivated. Because a lot of times, things around you will not be motivating. Things around you will want you to change your mind or change your direction or change your profession, change, this, especially now in the time of AI. A lot of people are jumping on things that has nothing to do with their purpose. But because they want to, jump on trends and just live for a season, to keep on jumping. Tomorrow they are this, tomorrow they are trending. But one thing that will make you, regardless of innovation, regardless of anything happening across the world, is knowing your why, knowing your vision, working in vision, working in purpose. Yes, can purpose evolve? Yes. But your purpose has to be constant. There are some purposes that they are just for a period. There are some purposes that it's almost like a life purpose. almost like a life dedication, right? But what will make you consistent, disciplined, committed to anything is knowing your why. The reason why you remain in a relationship is because you know why you're there. The reason why you remain, in at a place of work is because you know why you're doing that job, regardless of probably how your bosses treat you or no matter how the environment is, because you know why you're here. The reason why you go to school, even when you have to stay up at night and read and go to the library and do assignments, no matter how stressful it is, the reason why you will not give up is because you know why you are there. So everything you do in life, the reason why we are doing those things, or the reason why we continue, or the reason why we stay consistent in doing those things is because our why has to be strong. If your why, if your strong reasons, if your reasons are not strong enough or stronger than your, than your distractions, then you'll be distracted. A man of discipline is a man of purpose. A man of vision is a man of discipline. So you need to have purpose, you have direction, you have to know your whys. Those are the strong, very strong things that will help you to stay disciplined in anything that you do, right? Next question says, why do I keep doubting myself even after succeeding? Why do you keep doubting myself? And what comes to mind when I saw this question is that, sometimes we do not define what success is to us before we start pursuing some things. Sometimes we think our success is the same as someone else's success. So when some people are doing some things and they are being celebrated, we think a clue for us to also do the same. So what will really help any individual is knowing who they are, knowing what success is to you. The way someone else would define success will differ from the way I would define success. Not because their way of defining success is wrong or my own is wrong. It's because my purpose is different from them. It's because the way I see life is different from them. It's because what I'm pursuing is different from what they're pursuing. It's because where I'm coming from. Different from where I'm coming from. It's because what I will celebrate will be what they will. It will be different from what they will celebrate. Right? So imagine someone that grew up from a background with abject poverty, like poverty. Such a person going to school, being, having first class, being, having their PhD will be a big deal to them. But someone that grew up around uncles and aunties and everybody is a professor, it almost looks like it's their normal, right? So for them, that might not really be a big deal, but for me, it will be a big deal. So when you accomplish something and you're not feeling so good about your success, it's probably because you've not rightly defined what success is to you, or you are not running your own race. Because if you're really running your race, then you should be satisfied. You should be content. You should be happy. You should feel this joy, this satisfaction. And if all of those feelings are not there, then probably you are not doing the right thing. Probably you're not on the right track. Probably you're not pursuing the right things. Probably you're not running your race. That is just what came to mind. So you might want to ask yourself if anytime at all you did something, and especially when some people are celebrating those things about you and you're not saying why such a thing to be celebrated, or that was a pursuit for you at a point, but now you've accomplished it, but you're still having this void, then probably you're running after the wrong thing, right? So for questions like this, it would have been beautiful if there's context to at least be able to know what this person is saying, what area, and know who's speaking, the personalities and the situation. But this is just a general answer that I think can be useful for anybody. So at any point that you pursue something, or you succeed at something, but you're doubting yourself, you're not feeling so good about it, it's probably because you're on the wrong track, right? This one says, how do I stop seeking everyone's approval? Oh my God, this question still boils down to knowing who you are. Knowing who you are, knowing the damn who you are. You need to know who you are. Trust me, know who you are. Because the truth of the matter is that not everyone will like you. No matter how good, no matter how perfect you are, not everyone will like you. Not everyone will appreciate you. In fact, the number one citizen of every country, no matter how good a man is, you will still see someone speak evil of them. You will still see someone wishing evil of them. You will still see someone not liking them, not because they did anything wrong. It's just the way life is. In fact, even you watching me right now, there's some people that it's not like you hate them, it's not like you want anything bad to happen to them, but they're not just your kind of people, right? Not because they're necessarily bad people, but you are not you just probably don't want them in your space. You just don't want them so close to you, not because of anything they've done wrong to you, right? So always constantly seeking other people's approval, to me, most of the time is a lack of self-identity, is a lack of self-value, is a lack of having self-worth, right? So you need to really discover who you are. If you're constantly seeking approval, permission to do something, there are a lot of ideas. I work with teenagers, and most of the time they tell me about things, and I'm like, wow, that's good. No, do it. And they're like, can I do it? Yes, you can. Sometimes people feel that way probably if they've constantly, be battling with what's that now? They've been battling with people have been telling them now that they've been used to know from people. They've been probably put down by their parents, they've been abused, verbally. So sometimes they find it difficult to come out of that space and see, the better side, or in fact the truth side of themselves. Sometimes not everything people say to you are true. Sometimes people say things to make you mad, to get you mad. Sometimes they say things just to make you happy. The fact that they're saying it to make you happy does not mean that thing is true. And when people are saying things to, to make you feel like you're not a person of value, it's not because it is true either. So people have different motive when they say things to us. So you do not allow that to affect the way you see yourself. You need to know who you are. And I'm not saying that other people's opinion does not matter at all, right? What I'm saying is that be very conscious of the people that you allow their words get to you. So that is why you want to make sure that people that you call friends, even though you can't really choose your family, right? Because you did not choose your family, but you have the choice of your friends. You can choose who your spouse is. You can choose who your friends are. So those kind of people that that when they say things to you, it gets to you because they are closer. So closer people, when they say things to us, we value those things more. We think they are saying the truth. We think that is the truth, right? So you want to be very, very, very intentional about people around you. And I'm not saying that there have to be people that will be lying to you. Yeah, there will be people that will speak the truth to you, but speak with grace. People that will not lie to your face. People that are there in your life to make your life better, the same way you are there to make their life better, right? So you need good companies, safe people around you, and most importantly, you need to know who you are. Someone said, why does confidence, okay, what does confidence actually look like? Oh, confidence is showing up. Confidence looks like a lot of things. Confidence means believing in yourself. Confidence means doing the things you want to do, even when people say you cannot. Confidence means believing in yourself, regardless of what people think. Confidence means showing up when you're tired. Confidence means a lot of things, regardless, it depends on the area, the situation, right? But confidence means different thing at different time. Like I said, it can mean showing up, it can mean doing the impossible, it can mean doing the things even when you think those things are not possible for you to do. That is confidence. Confidence means knowing who you are, regardless of what people think, say, you know, or think about you or whatever. That is confidence. That is confidence. Launching that business, regardless of what you think, oh, will it fail? Will it succeed? You will never know until you try. I tell people the worst you can get out of people, when you tell them something is no. That's it. No. Oh, will people buy my market? The worst they can say is no. Right? So doing it anyway is confidence. In fact, doing it and believing that it will succeed is the real confidence. I'm not disturbing myself with people's nose, with what people will think about it. Will it go well? Will it not go well? Will I fail? Will I not fail? Confidence will make me do it. And if anything is happening, confidence will make me see it in a better light. I won't see it as, oh, they hate me. No, I will see it as a part to grow. I will see it as a reason to grow. I will see it as a change. I will see it as something to do to make myself better. I will see it as, an avenue to, to recalibrate. I will see that as a reason, I will see that as an opportunity to do things better. So just to say, with some people never see failure as failure. I do not say failure as failure. I see it as a lesson to be learned. Because every failure, if you look closely, there are lessons there. There's some things that if you do things with wisdom, you will know, oh, I won't do this again. I did the last time. What will teach you that wisdom might be that thing you're calling failure. Right? So that is confidence is a lot of things. So I'll just take one more question. And this says, what if I don't know what my purpose is? Oh, you need to know. If you don't know, then you need to know. That's the first. See, there's no magic to these things, right? If you don't know, then you need to know, because like I said, most of the time we focus on doing. If you really want to do anything in life, you need to become that thing. And for you to become that thing, you need to know something. For example, I want to be a doctor, right? That means I first need to become a doctor before I can do the work of a doctor. I need to be certified as a doctor. I need to be the doctor. That way I can treat people. Now I can do the work of a doctor. But before becoming a doctor, I need to know something. I need to acquire knowledge. That is going to school, doing my internship and all of those things. So for anything at all you can do in life, remember this. It has to do with knowing, becoming, and doing. Anytime you want to jump from doing or want to do something, you do. You will, most of the time you will crash. So anything you want to do, ask yourself, what do I need to know in this area? Oh, I want to do a new business. I want to into this business. I want to do this thing. I want to pursue this thing. What do I need to know? Do not cancel the knowledge phase, because it will show when it's just like people that we call quacks. It's because they jump that phase of knowing. They don't know enough before they start doing. Right? So if you jump this knowing phase, it will affect your doing phase, and people will judge you based on what you do. But what you do is determined by what you know. So you need to know, become it. Then you can now do it effortlessly. You can do it with so much wisdom, with so much. Now people will now see you as the go-to person in this area, right? You anything you want to do at all. In fact, you want to go into a relationship, you want to be married, you want to be a married person. Before you start doing marriage, what do you need to know about marriage? You need to become a marriageable person. In fact, the Bible puts it this way: it said, if that finds a wife, that means you are first a wife. Imagine you are a wife before you are actually married as a wife. So that means you have to become it before you start doing the work of your wife. You need to become a wife. You need to see yourself as a wife. Someone has to see you and consider you a wife. That is when you can now do the work of a wife. Do you understand? Same goes for the other gender, right? So for anything at all you want to do in life, remember this: knowing, becoming, and doing. So whether you want to fulfill purpose in life, you need to know what your purpose is, become your purpose. That is when you are now so much committed. That is when, the vision is so clear to you. You are being driven by it. Now you will now become to do. It will show in anything you do. It will show in anything you do. For example, if you're into if you're someone that loves children or teenager or youth, if that is your purpose, it can find expression in anything. In church, for example, now if you're in church and you're to serve in a church, you most likely want to serve in the children or the youth or teenagers unit, right? If you find yourself among, it's just like you can now, regardless of the things you're doing at the moment, you can bring your purpose to birth in every step of the way, in every phase of your life. There's relevance. You will see relevance because now you know purpose. You're not wondering, what should I do? Who do I need to go? You are not changing, right? So does that mean we will just do one thing all through our life? Maybe not. Maybe yes. But it can evolve. It can take different shape. But it almost look like it's still almost who you are. Just for someone talking about, a marriage coach or a marriage counselor, if the person tomorrow wants to go into ministry, they will most likely preach more on that relationship, on marriage and stuff like that. So knowing your purpose is very important before doing anything, because anything you do now, and at the end of the day, it's just like driving fast with full speed in the wrong direction. Regardless of the speed, it's still the wrong direction. But imagine knowing the right direction and you're not driving with full speed. That means your destination is going to be beautiful. It's going to be the perfect place to be. Right, so we've come to the end of today's episode. I really, really enjoyed myself. I hope you did. Please let me know in the comments. What do you think? What are your take home from today's episode? What do you have to say? If you're yet to like, and do not forget, once this podcast is posted live, right? Because right now we're live, so after now it's going to be uploaded. So feel free to share with your friends, everyone that probably need answers to any of the things that we've discussed today. Anyone that that can, this episode can be of help to. So feel free to share to them. All right. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Share if you're yet to like and subscribe, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell. All right. So till I come your screen again next week, Saturday, 6 a.m. West African time, do have for yourself a beautiful weekend. Bye.